Hello and welcome to Algorithmic Art. Today we're going to be teaching Scratch how to draw patterns and shapes and things a bit like this. We're going to understand how to create these shapes, how to change the colors, how to change the sizes. We're going to do it all with code, as you can see over here. Now this might look like a big stack of blocks, but we're going to break it down step by step. I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures here. What do I press? X and Z. Let's see if I can double click it to show you. Here we go. These are some pictures of installations that we made in a school called Roman Road down in Newham. This is the project we did there, and these guys produced these awesome hanging installations with all of the amazing patterns they created on this project. So we're going to begin this today, and I'm going to take you through step by step how to create these awesome polygons and incredible patterns. So first thing we need to do is get to Scratch. So the URL for Scratch is scratch.mit.edu. And if you open up a browser and if you start to type Scratch, then it should come up. And if you search for it, let's go to Google. If we go to Google and we type in Scratch to Google, what's happening here? I don't know what's happening here. Let's try again. Let's just type Scratch into here. That's better. Now this is the link you want. Sometimes it looks a bit different to that. See if I can see the one. I don't know if this is just because I'm on an iPad. But that's the one you want anyway. Scratch.mit.edu. And then we come up and we click Create. And we find ourselves with Scratch the cat. Now we don't need Scratch. Actually, no, let's keep Scratch today. We'll make him our mascot, why not? So the first thing we're going to do today is just look at how to draw one of the most basic things we can draw, and that's a straight line. So we need when green flag clicked. That's from the events selection here. We're going to drag that out. Now we need to enable the drawing within Scratch. In earlier versions of Scratch, it was already enabled. In version 3, we have to come down to the bottom left and click on this blue square and then come up to pen. And then we see we get a new set of blocks and the pen icon at the bottom here. Now, to put our pen to the paper, we use pen down. Now in class, when we say put your pens down, we mean stop drawing or stop writing. But in Scratch, pen down means pen down to the paper. And the opposite is pen up, which is pen off the paper. All right, so pen down. And then if we use a move, and let's put 100 in here, because 10 is a tiny amount, as most of you know. And I'm going to grab Scratch and move Scratch over here, because Scratch is facing to the right. This should draw a line to the right. Can you see? So you can imagine Scratch is carrying a big pen or pencil and drawing on the floor as Scratch walks around. So the first thing I'd like to do is just have a quick play with Scratch drawing, and you can change the numbers here. Let's put 200 in here and see if we get double the length. We should. We do. Okay, so you can pause the video here and have a quick play with that. Make that code if you like, and then come and join us. And if you've just come back, the next thing we're going to do is add in a turn. Again from motion, we're going to turn a number of degrees. Now, as far as this project's concerned, we're going to think of degrees as a way to measure how far we've turned, or how much we've turned around. So we use centimeters to measure how far we've traveled. In Scratch, we use steps instead of centimeters. And we use degrees to say how far around we've actually turned. So Scratch now, let's see, is going to move 200 steps and then turn 90 degrees. And I'm going to ask Scratch to then move another 200 steps. And what we should see is Scratch draw a corner. Can you see we came along here and then down here? I'm just going to erase my page. So if I go to the pen blocks, I'm just going to double click on erase all for now. Just double click there, don't need to drag it out or use it. All of these blocks, by the way, I can just double click to activate. See? So let's go back to pen and erase all. I'm going to now ask Scratch to move 200 steps, which should go down, and then turn 90 degrees that way. So I'm hoping I'm going to get a line down and a line across here. Let's see if I'm right. There we go. And it happened so fast we hardly saw it. So if I want to just slow Scratch down so that I can see what Scratch is doing, let's see. I clear my page again. In fact, I'm going to use the block now. I'm going to say when green flag is clicked, erase all. So that will wipe whatever was there. There we go. So did you see the pause? Scratch did the line, paused for 1 second, and drew the next line. If I hit the green flag, we should lose what we had and draw the next bit. All right, so some of you now are probably thinking, all right, well, that's half a square you've drawn there. Shall we see if we can draw the rest of the square? Now, if you know your shapes, you know that squares all have sides the same length, don't they? So we've got move, and then a turn, and then a turn. So now we've got a move. So the length of the sides on a square are all the same, so they must all be 200. And how far do we turn? Well, we turn 90 degrees. 90 little bits of turn. Remember, all the way around is 360. If you haven't covered this yet, don't worry, but all you need to know is to get a square's corner, we call it a right angle corner, we must turn 90 degrees. So let's pop in another weight so that we can actually see the turn. You can see that there's a pattern here. The pattern is this: move, weight, turn, move, weight, turn, move, weight. And so the last thing we need here is a turn. How far are we going to turn? 90 degrees. And let's just run it and see what we've got. Okay, so there's our turn, but we need one more move. So let's get the last move block and bring that up to 200. Okay, let's run it from, let's say here. We come up, we turn, 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 and there's our square. All right, so we've succeeded here in Scratch drawing a square.